This episode is sponsored by Nobu Hotel, Miami Beach, and Security Financial Management.
Ooh, welcome back to Best Advice Podcast, guys. I'm your host, Rob Lavalio, here as always with Fats, and boy, do we have a special guest for you guys today.
Camila Escribens, Peru!
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Universe Peru 2023, Camila Escribens.
We're not worthy!
So what is up? Thank you so much for being here. Like I was telling these guys before you came, this girl's way too pretty for how cool she is. We met 3 years ago. She's been my best girlfriend for 3 years now. Like, this is a bro. Don't let the looks fool her. She is a bro.
I really was one of the bros right when I met you, right?
You really were.
Like, we would hang out. We went on vacation together, and it was so fun because, like, it was like a group of us, and honestly, we really bonded. He took a lot of my pictures.
And we've been close ever since. I really appreciate everything you've done.
No, thank you
just
for
being here.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on. I'm excited to do this, and of course, I want to support you. You know, so thank you for having me on.
So let's talk a little bit about how you even got into this career. Like, how did it? Because I feel like for boys, when they grow up, they're like, I want to be in the NBA.
Right.
Every guy wants to do that, and they figure out, I'm not tall, I'm not athletic, I'm not that good. I feel like for every girl,
You figured that out pretty early, Rob.
A pageant.
Sorry. Huh? You figured that out pretty early.
I figured that out pretty early.
No, but I feel like everyone is obviously very different. My dream has always been to represent my country. It wasn't necessarily to be a pageant queen. I've never really went from being a little girl and thinking like I want to be a pageant queen. I was always like I want to represent my country, and I wanted to do it in sports. And when I was younger, I ran track, and I was a high jumper. I went to the Junior Olympics. I was second in the nation. I was third in the nation.
I did not know that.
I am an athlete, Robert. I am also an athlete, okay?
Traits.
So that was my end goal. My end goal was to always represent my country. And because of some medical reasons and I guess problems, I didn't really get to have that dream really come true. But I think God gave me a second chance when it came to pageants, and I've never done pageants in my entire life. But I tried it when they presented me the opportunity to be Miss Peru USA and represent all of the Peruvians in the United States. I said, okay, like why not? I tried it. I ended up winning my first title, like Miss Grand Peru. I went to Miss Grand International. I was top 10. And recently I competed again, and I won Miss Universe Peru 2023. I went to Miss Universe in November, placed top 10.
No big deal. Kind of a big deal.
And now we're here, you know.
So
like I said, my end goal was always to be Peru. And I feel like I finally got to accomplish my dream of being Peru.
You did that. You did that in a different way.
I did it, Robert.
I can't believe you were top 3 in the country. That's nuts.
Top 2.
Top 2.
And
top 2.
the Junior Olympics.
How old were you when you were in Junior Olympics?
I think I was about, 13 or 14 years old.
So what was that like? Where'd you go? Like, what is that?
I
never got good enough to do that, although like basketball was still my thing throughout college. No big deal.
You were a pro too, okay, Robert? You were a pro.
I appreciate that.
I actually ended up doing that. I believe it was in Houston, and I also did it in San Diego. My little sister recently was looking at all of my records online. And I just discovered, I thought I was 7th in the nation at one point, and she was like, Camila, you were 3rd. So I'm just now saying, and I'm going to start saying, I was 2nd and 3rd in the nation, not 7th.
That's crazy that she just doesn't remember that. I was 89th.
I didn't remember.
I was 89th shooting guard in the country, and I remember that perfectly.
89th was the freaking best, though.
Did they give you a medal for that?
No. They actually gave me
Bummer.
Not even a little,
a
paper.
plaque.
They gave me 2.5 stars out of 5. It was actually pretty bad.
Hey, 50%.
2 stars? That's not bad, Robert.
3-star recruit. Who's counting again? Who's this podcast about? Me again? Are we talking about me?
It's all about you, Robert.
Okay, good segment. Clap it up. Good segment.
I saw that, back in your home country, Peru, that you philanthropic activities with an organization called AMA or something like that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so AMA is actually my nonprofit organization where I and my team from AMA put sports fields and parks all over the poorest places of my country. Coming from a person that has grew up in sports and, I see the value and the discipline that, sports brought to my life, I wanted to be able to give that to children in need. And sports is so healthy, and being at a park is so healthy, especially for a young person, a young child growing up. And I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful, and that's something I will always cherish with my heart is AMA. I've talked about it at Miss Universe, and I will continue to talk about it.
What does AMA stand for?
Well, honestly, AMA in Spanish is like love.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
So a lot of people don't know that, but now you know it.
Yeah, learned something today.
What sparked that? Like, what was there like something that happened where you're like, I need to help other people?
AMA actually reached out, and we came up with all of this. And obviously I want children to have the opportunity that I had when I was growing up. I had all the sports at my disposal, and I loved playing every sport. I played every sport. So when I got presented the opportunity, I absolutely took it, and I said, of course I would love to be involved and represent your brand. And we've taken it to a whole new level. So it's really exciting, and I love talking about it because people always say, like, what can I do to help your nonprofit organization? Like, what you're doing is so amazing. Like is there anything I could do or say or post? And I'm like, you know what? Just like look at my page. It's called AMA, and honestly, that's the best thing you can do is just give it a little bit of love and support, and that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you feel pressured with your platform? Like, you said they reached out to you, right?
Yeah.
So people are looking to you to kind of give back. Does that feel like you have pressure a little bit there?
I wouldn't say pressure. I feel like as a beauty pageant queen, we are always there to help others, and having the platform as being the queen of the country, it gives me the opportunity to help organizations and people in need that need the help. And I'm actually thankful that they're coming to me because they know that I am potentially a voice that can be heard. Sometimes people don't have that voice, and whenever they are in need and they don't feel like no one's listening to them, I'm very happy that I'm that person that people can come to and say, hey, I need help. I need you to help me, build my platform a little bit bigger. This is what I have in mind, and I'm more than happy to do it. I wouldn't say pressure. I'm actually thankful and grateful for that opportunity.
Which is rare.
Yeah, it's cool that you're using your platform to do that, like you said, and help people that could really use it. And something you love, obviously, too. Athletics being in your background, it's like, okay, obviously you can't say yes to everything, but you're able to pick and choose organizations.
I
like
wish
that.
I can say yes to everything. I wish.
Well,
but
that's
it's
like
just
your
out of my
personality
hands.
too, because most people with that platform or develop into the platform you have, their personality isn't, I want to help. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you're over there building parks.
Right.
That's who you are.
Right.
So that's pretty cool that, sometimes it matches, the personality matches with the platform, and a lot of times it doesn't. So it's cool to see, like, this is really who you are.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Clap it up, 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 clap it up. At what point did you realize, like, wow, I'm actually good at this? Or like, wow, I'm actually pretty? I don't want to like put those words in your mouth, but like in basketball, there's like a moment where I'm like, wow, I'm good enough to get a college scholarship. Like, I kind of had that feeling, right?
Okay.
At what point were you like, I could be Miss Universe Peru?
Honestly, I feel like through time that confidence maybe developed. I feel like, everyone has their own personal battles that they go through. I don't think right when I started my whole pageant world, I was like, you know what, I'm so pretty, like I think I could win. For me, it was more like my mentality was to be Peru. And
so cool.
Thank you for calling me pretty, Robert. That's really nice of you.
Shocker, by the way, if you guys are listening and not watching, this is a very pretty woman.
Thank you, Robert.
You agree? What? You think you're really pretty?
I feel like, being in the beauty pageant world, like, you kind of have to have a little bit of confidence because you're involved with so many different women all over the world that are so beautiful. And, sometimes you get to, like, comparing with another candidate, like let's say like Colombia or Puerto Rico or, you know, Mexico, and you're just like, oh, she's taller, she's prettier. And you shouldn't, though, because it's not about being the prettiest girl that wins Miss Universe. It's not about being the, you know, it's about what you have in here and what you have in here. And I feel like once you transmit that and you show people who you really are, that's what really captures their hearts and how you win. It's not about super being the most prettiest girl on stage or the best walk, like I said, but it's what you have in here.
Is that a big piece of it, though? A lot of it is like philanthropic stuff, right? Well, I feel like that's part of the pageants, right? It's like, what are you involved with?
Well, actually, modeling and the beauty pageant world is completely different. I went from starting to model when I graduated high school to then being presented with this opportunity of Miss Peru, and it was like a whole 180. It's not the same in any regards, like the walk, the poses. It's not, and the lifestyle is completely different, and that's a big misconception that a lot of people have. It's not the same world. And you know, I'm grateful for both and that I'm able to do both, but like I do want to make that very clear that it's a very, very different world, the beauty pageant world.
So let's talk about the Q&A portion of these pageants, the ones that, you know, are notorious for their viral, cringe-worthy, just bad answers from some of these girls.
I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and
Yeah, I feel like I'd be scared to answer the question because kind of like a lawyer, is anything on the table, or do you have like a study book? Like, can they ask you anything? Like, what is the, like...
Okay, so you have to get coaching done. I had coaching, and I'm so happy that Jeff was my coach. He coaches a lot of beauty pageant women, and like all of his girls are like top girls. So I was very blessed and honored to like work under him. And answering questions is not easy. Like you have to know how to answer, like from the beginning to the middle to the end. I've always been, you know, taught like...
And they get pretty deep. Like, the questions are hard.
Yeah,
like,
some questions are very controversial. Some questions are very hard, and it's like you have to learn how to answer them. Without offending someone, or, you know, you're not gonna like, you know, everyone's not gonna like you, and that's the end. That's the end of the world. Like, no one is not ever going to think you're the best, you're the prettiest, she's the one. You're not for everyone, and that's something that you have to learn, and that's what I learned in the beauty pageant world, and that's okay. You know, it's
I feel like there's so much, going back to like modeling versus pageant, like modeling's not live. Like I'm gonna take 1,000 pictures of you, I'm gonna pick one.
Right. 100%.
First, you have 30 seconds to walk perfectly with your nana up, whatever that.
Menton arriba.
And if it doesn't hit, you're done.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're out.
Like, then that's the thing too that people don't understand. Like with modeling, like, yeah, you're taking 1 million pictures, you work with different brands. With the beauty pageant world, you have to know, like, whenever you are going into these competitions, you have one day, for example, to have media, which is like you're taking pictures. There's 100 contestants. You're not just the only one. You have maybe like 30 seconds to take a good picture. That's it.
It's all the prettiest people in the world. So it's like, how am I going to
And
stick
it's all
out
the prettiest
right now,
people in the
like,
world.
in 30
Exactly.
seconds? Oh, my heart's going fast.
But you know what's so funny, Robert? When I first went into the competition, I went to Miss Grand International. Miss Universe and Miss Grand are completely different. Like, Miss Grand is all about the show and like how you can stand out of all the girls, and like Miss Universe is more about like
Camaraderie a little bit?
Yeah, like it's about like mainly what you kind of have up here more, and like I guess like who, I don't know how to super explain
pulling
it.
Layers back a little bit. Yeah.
But they want a complete woman. I'm sure they both pageants do. I mean, I competed in both, but I've noticed a difference between them is that Miss Grand is a little bit more showy, and like if you are the top show of the day, I like you the best today. You know, like that's kind of how it is.
What did you do for your show? Like, did you have to do a talent?
There's no talent in either competition. A lot of people ask me that. I feel like that's more like
I see that on TV all the time.
Exactly.
I feel like I'd be doing the worm up there. That's my party trick.
Just get a high jump bar and do the high jump in front of people.
I was gonna say that.
That would have been sick.
I was literally gonna say that. What's my talent? I can high jump. You know, I can jump over a bar pretty high.
That top 3 in the world. Yeah, that's pretty damn good talent.
Top 2,
top
Robert.
2. Excuse me. 89th.
Just as good. 89th versus second. That's so funny.
Pop it up. You did just retire
I did
A
retire.
lot of people are very sad about this.
I know. I was, it was a bittersweet moment that night for me as well.
You just gave up your crown, is that correct?
That's correct.
Handing off the crown. What did that feel like? Were you sad? Were you happy? Were you grateful? Were you everything in one at once?
That was a good way of putting it, Robert.
Yeah.
It was really like a bittersweet moment for me. I obviously had a lot of, feelings mixed that night because, this is something I've been doing for over like 6-7 years, and it's like finally coming to an end. So I was definitely sad, but also like very proud of myself because I just finally lived the dream that I wanted to for so long. And I feel like at the end of the day, I'm just grateful for the moment that I got to live as Miss Universe Peru and that I never gave up on myself. I kept trying. I competed 3 times, Robert.
That's crazy.
I competed 3 times to become Miss Peru.
Yeah. And
So
once you got that first one where you're like, all right, I got it, now I'm going to retire, when did you figure out you wanted to retire?
So, after 6-7 years of doing, beauty pageants and trying to become Miss Peru Universe, the 3rd time is the charm,
Yes.
But, I never gave up, like I said. After I competed at Miss Universe, I said, you know what, I think it's time. I have to flip the page. I have to, move on with my life because I'm not going to do pageants for the rest of my life, And let's be a little bit realistic. I feel like, now that the age limit has like changed. Now there's no age limit at all for Miss Universe. I'm so happy for that. But for me, like I just needed to retire. Sadly, I was like a bittersweet moment for me. I was very sad, but also, like I said, I was happy and proud of myself. So.
Yeah. So what's your plan now? Like now that what does that transition look like? Gave the crown away, or you still have it? Don't you still?
Well, I will forever be Miss Peru 2023, Robert.
So it's there. It's there. Let's not make no mistakes about it. It's there.
You know what? I will forever be Miss Peru 2023. But now, like I said, I have to flip the page. I'm going to be focusing mainly on my modeling, which I'm very happy because once I got back from Miss Universe, I was signed with Wilhelmina, Miami.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I used to be with Elite Models Miami, but now I'm with Wilhelmina, which is so good. I'm very, very happy and blessed for the opportunity because I have the most amazing agents, and Icon Management is my mother agency, and it's because of them as well that they pushed for me to be in all these agencies. So I'm just like living in the moment. My modeling career is like taking off, and I'm just so blessed and happy.
So cool, yeah. So after giving up your crown recently, what do you have another one? Like, do you get to keep one? Do they give it up one? I know you're in this like prestigious group now, which is pretty cool from all these years, 2024, 23, 22. Mm-hmm. So do all you guys get to keep your crown, right?
Well, yeah. So the crown that they crowned me with, I don't have that one, which I'm very sad to say. I wish I still had it because now I have like, my Miss Grand International crown that I was crowned with. And I wanted to obviously have my,
Why don't you have it? What happened?
Well, like during my reign, I believe something happened to it where like it kind of broke. So they went to go repair it with the designer, Alejandro Rice. And I just like never got it back.
And they haven't sent it back.
No, and I believe it's like fixed. It's just sitting at his studio, but like I've never gotten it back. I don't know if it wasn't like paid for. I don't know.
Well, you don't pay for your own trophy, that's for sure.
I mean, I'll pay for it if I have
know
to. Like,
you would,
I want
but
my crown,
yeah.
So I got another, like, random crown. It's still beautiful,
Yeah,
it's just not the one that...
Who's responsible for this crown? We need to get Camila her crown back.
This is Frank Drebin, Police Squad. Come on out with your hands up.
Well, that's a great question that you asked me that,
that's crazy.
But I know, but,
It's like,
things happen.
Like a state championship ring getting taken away and then not getting it back.
That's what I'm saying. These are going to be things that I'm going to like have to
That's
show my
insane.
kids. And I'm going to be like, well, this is actually not the crown that I was crowned with.
That is messed up.
It's a random one that I don't know where it came from. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, being in this industry, what is some of the biggest adversity that you've had to deal with? Obviously, a big spotlight. So, like, what are some of the challenges that you've had?
Well, I feel like a lot of the girls, we go through this whole stage of our lives where our whole lives are exposed. nothing is private. You're the queen of your country, so that comes with it. But at the same time, there's pros and cons to that. Like mental health is a big thing that's with all of the beauty pageant queens, and I know a lot of the girls advocate for mental health, and that's something that I was really advocating when I was in Miss Grand International, because it was my first time competing. I remember I came to Peru to compete. I won Miss Grand International Peru, and I got a lot of hate because they were saying like, how can a girl that's from America come and represent us? Like, she doesn't represent me, like I used to live on the beach and I wore bikini. She only wears bikini. It was just always something. Her Spanish isn't good. Like, I felt like I couldn't do anything right. And that's when I felt like my mental health like really like went downhill. And it's sad. It's really sad because instead of like a whole country really uplifting a queen, sometimes we can, do the complete opposite. And it really tarnishes our mental health, our self-esteem. And honestly, during that time too, I remember that my mental health wasn't the very best. I also lost, over 30 pounds in a month. Like, I was just like, I didn't want to be seen by anyone. And like, it's crazy because I just won my title. I should want to go be seen by everyone and like want to do everything. But it was hard. It's honestly something a lot of girls go through. And I know, for example, like Puerto Rico, Miss Puerto Rico, the one I competed with, Carla, she was a big advocate for mental health. And, I feel like now she does seminars. She does a lot of great things, and I'm very proud of her for that. But at the same time, I want to advocate that this world isn't easy. A lot of people think you can just look pretty, stand on stage, walk, and that's it. It's really not it. Being a beauty pageant queen is really hard. Not only do you put your heart, soul, your mind into this, but it's like you're exposed to the whole world and everyone's opinions. And obviously, I respect everyone's opinions, but we need to also, learn that what we're saying isn't always the best. And that's something like through time I feel like we'll improve on, hopefully. But yeah, mental health is definitely a big thing in the beauty pageant world.
Because I'm hearing a lot of these girls sign NDAs, right? Non-disclosure, where they can't talk about it. So now their parents are bringing it up, right? Their parents tell me a little bit about that.
So honestly, my organization never made me sign an NDA. I signed obviously like a contract when I won Miss Peru, like saying like you're Miss Peru, like just the basics. And I did also hear about all that controversy, and it's sad to say that some organizations don't really want the best for the girls. Like, they have a queen and they have someone that's here to vouch and represent your country, and then you have an organization that's kind of putting them down, and it really sucks to see that, because not only did I meet these girls, but like this is an organization, like what if that was mine? I don't know how I would feel. I obviously, it's hard when you sign an NDA that you can't speak up. So you're silencing these girls' voices when we're all about, stand up, speak up. That's what we're all about. And to do the complete opposite is just terrible to me.
It's also crazy to think about like what happened for them to have to sign it.
Right.
An NDA. What is the NDA,
right. Like, how did it get to that point where you have to sign an NDA? Like that's
something sketchy must have happened.
That's weird to me. Yeah, I completely agree. And I think the whole world agreed to that as well, because this wasn't just a little incident. This was like a big thing with the Miss United States, Miss USA organization. This happened with them. And it's like, I'm not here talking bad about anybody. I support all women, and I just don't support when you aren't actually being a good person to these girls, especially when these are your candidates, these are your queens, and like you're supposed to be all about empowerment and don't silence your voice, and and that's, I don't know, it's just, it's very controversial, and you're doing the exact opposite. Exactly. It's really sad to see, and it's hard to even talk about, because I feel like sometimes whenever you talk about it, people would come over here and say their opinions, and like I said, I respect everyone's opinions, but when it comes to silencing someone's voice, I'm not okay with that, and I will never be okay with that. So I think it's also amazing that all the girls got together. The
Yeah.
whole Miss Universe organization girls, we all got together in support of everything that happened. And
I can't imagine like trying to not take things personal either.
right.
Because you're so exposed. You're putting your life in front of everyone. You're putting your
Exactly.
body in front of everyone. You're wearing a swimsuit and you're trying to think about walking straight, and they're looking at every inch of your body, your face, like down to your toes, and it's like, how do you keep that confidence?
Right. I mean, at the same time, they're always going to have something to say, whether it's good or bad. That's what I learned as well. Everyone is always going to have something to say. Everyone's not going to like you. I've learned that from the beginning. And that's okay. You're not here to please everyone. As long as you're making yourself proud and maybe your family and, like, I don't know, the people that you love that mean the world to you proud, that's all that matters. You know, and you're on that stage as well, representing your country. Like, you're already on that stage doing that. Like, you already deserve a round of applause and all the validation in the world, because you are the queen, and congrats for even getting that
And
far.
girls are,
you know,
girls are jealous in me. I've seen a lot of girls in my life. Sorry to say it.
And you know what? It's crazy because in this pageant world, it's very well known that some girls will go and cut the girls' dresses or break the girls' shoes, or it's very known. That's like a big thing. But I was very fortunate enough that didn't happen to me. And I don't think that didn't happen to anyone in my year, but it's definitely something. The girls are definitely, not always the nicest.
Do you have any idea what they signed that NDA for? You can say no.
I don't have any idea why they signed that NDA. I really don't. That's the honest truth. I mean, every organization... every organization's different. My organization never made me sign an NDA, so that's all I can really say.
Cool. Perfect.
So obviously you've had a lot of success at a pretty young age. Probably had some good mentors along the way, maybe some, like we just talked about, people who try to sabotage you a little bit. But, going through the many experiences that you've been through, what is some of the best advice that you've ever received?
I really want to say that even in the finale of when I won Miss Peru 2023, I said to never give up. I know it's very cliche, but I never gave up. Whether that came with me trying the crown 3 times to finally win Miss Peru 2023, or with my health. When I was in a hospital bed for over 11 years and, I was fighting for my life, I never gave up. That's always been my message, and that will always be my message, is to never give up. I also did sports. I never gave up every time I didn't win every single high jump meet, every relay, every 100 meters. I didn't give up because I got second, third, or fourth, So that's something that I learned to tell myself, and I really value that quote, is to never give up. It's not that someone told me that. Maybe my dad would always be like, no, you can do it, never give up. But I always thought to myself, I'm not going to give up just like
I
that.
just got a little bit of chills. You said you were fighting for your life? When?
Yeah, at one point I was fighting for my life because I had 3 AVMs in my brain, which stands for arteriovenous malformation, which is a step before an aneurysm. And they found it in 3 spots in my brain when I was about 13 years old. And that's basically the same time when I just finished competing at the Junior Olympics. Right after that, they told me I couldn't do sports ever again because it had to do with my brain.
Gosh.
So obviously I was very devastated, and I look back now and I'm just like, wow, I really have been through a lot in my life. Not only have I put myself through a lot, but my family has been through a lot, just like with my experiences. So that's why I'm really grateful with life, and I always say to never give up, because like I said, was fighting for my own life. I didn't give up.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe that, I'm trying to figure out how you're so nice and cool. Maybe that, you just started this new life where you're like, I'm going to help everyone I can. I'm going to go overseas and try to build these playgrounds. Mm-hmm. I'm going to represent my country in any way I can, whether that's sports or whether that's beauty pageants. And you've just been full on go mode, baby. Give me a high five.
I think that's why I feel like God gave me a second chance.
Yeah.
because I was here for something. I was here to do something, even if it was something so little, like ama. Like it's not little to me.
It's not little
big.
at all. Yeah, that's
but
huge.
for some people, it's like, oh, like, you know. But like, I mean, for me, it's something like I'm making a small little change for the bigger picture. These children.
Crazy, yeah.
I feel like ever since I went through this whole stage of my life where I literally lost my dream of being like in the Olympics and like, you know, sports, I switched my mentality of like not like, oh, why me, but okay, this happened to me because I need to do something better. I am meant for something more. And, you know, I feel like
That might be the best advice I've ever gotten.
Have you received good financial guidance having success at a young age, or is that something that you haven't had a lot of education on? I mean, I feel like young people, especially, you know, athletics, modeling and stuff, a lot of people achieve financial success at a young age. Is that something that you feel like you're literate on, that you're well guided on?
I would like to say that I love learning. I love learning new things, and if I could get a little bit more educated on finances and how to, you know, handle my money, I would love that. You know, I feel like knowledge is power. So if you could teach me something, what advice can you give me? How about that?
Let's see. Well, try to save a lot of the money you make and don't spend too much of it. Save
Okay,
more than you
nice.
spend. That's pretty simple. Similar to never forget. It's simple advice, but sometimes hard to execute, right?
Okay,
So
yeah.
Get in early.
Yeah.
Get in early and compound
Yeah.
interest.
let your money work for you.
Let your money
Okay.
work for you.
So if I want some more advice, I should call you guys about this stuff?
Yeah, call him.
Got it. Call them, you guys.
Call him, actually.
Call them.
I'm the marketing guy. He's the numbers guy, so call him.
Call him. Well, I do want to say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the
Thank you
space.
for our time. Thank you for your time.
You know,
I mean-
I'm very happy that I was able to do this.
Me too.
And, you know, I think we've been talking about this for like a week, I think.
Yes. And you were so chill. Just everything. I
I
was like,
know. I was willing to do it in New York, too,
Yeah.
like through Zoom. I was like, I'll do it at Zoom if you want.
I mean,
but-
she takes care of her people.
I
You've
do
heard it
take
here
care of my
first, and you've
people.
Heard it again.
Always and forever. Well, I love you guys. Thank you so much for,
Very nice
you
meeting you.
know,
Thanks
it
for
was
taking
really,
the
really
time.
nice
Yeah.
meeting you. I had a great time. And maybe you can call me whenever you want to do another podcast.
Yes. We're going to have a co-host, another co-host. She's going to take my job.
I'm pretty good,
You are
Robert.
really good. I know. I'm kind of scared. All right, guys. Remember, the secret to wealth is not what you earn. It's what you keep. Happy days, everybody.
Whoa.
Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
Today's episode has been brought to you by Nobu Hotel, Miami Beach, and Security Financial Management. This podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only and is not intended as personal financial advice. Before making any financial decision, please do your own research and consult a financial advisor as needed. If you have a question for the guys, email podcast@bestadvicepodcastguys.com.